And this is Because Liberty with Curtis Hart.
And Chris Bornstead.
And Chris Bornstead. And you're listening on Small Axe Radio on the TuneIn Radio app or the Spreaker audio app. And tonight is a special edition of Because Liberty. And more than likely, if you're listening to this, you probably saw the video of Adam Olson trying to have sex with a 13-year-old down at Tam O'Shanter Park yesterday, a couple days ago.
That was 2 days ago.
2 days ago now. And
we have
so
some of the people that were here tonight in studio that were involved with this. We also have Andy Huffman who's here tonight. He's going to give us some input as well.
Like Adam Olson can please a grown woman.
That's not what,
That's not the kind of things we're talking about.
Not the kind of things we're talking about.
All
but,
right.
okay, Huffman. Anyway, you've been having fun, by the way. I loved the job post, opening post. That was pretty brutal.
Of course. Well, you
That
got
was.
one job.
I cracked up so much when I read that. I was just laughing for a while.
Funny.
That was funny.
That was a resort or a dealership? That's all
Exactly.
I don't-
That's what I
yeah,
want
I'm
to
not
know.
worried
Their
about
job.
So basically what we're doing tonight is you've seen, obviously, this video has gone viral and it's gone really, really fast, drawing a lot of attention to our area really quickly.
Yeah,
So
the first
we're like
24
over
hours
18
was like 15,000
Yeah,
views.
in 2 days, it's up to, in less than 48 hours, it's up to 18,000 views. So it's safe to say that this will keep going and there's going to be a lot more hits, unless you take the video down, which some people are asking. But we won't get into that right now. Of course, everybody wants to.
Is it anybody that matters to me?
No,
Obviously not.
obviously, I mean, maybe not. Maybe.
Well, I know one person asked. It doesn't matter. It's not going to take it down anyway. So.
But so tonight we're gonna I'm gonna ask you guys how this went down. I'm gonna ask you to tell me what happened, what the roles were, and how this came to be. I mean, you guys created a profile on Whisper. Is this correct?
Correct.
All right. So and you created the profile of initially a 14-year-old girl.
Yes.
Then switched the age down to 13.
Yes.
Okay. So you and
So the 13, 14-year-old girl never existed to begin with. Like, it was completely made up.
right.
A lot of people have been asking, like, is your daughter okay? My daughter's fine because she doesn't exist. So.
So
Do you want to turn your jeans down?
oh yeah, sorry. So the first thing that you got to say is that this site, nobody is who they say they are. Okay, so it's not like we're going on there and they're posting, hey, I'm Curtis Hart, I'm pretending to be, everybody on there is pretending to be somebody that they are not.
Except for Adam Olson.
Now, at some point, this became real because that person did, however, start sending pictures of yourself, gave you their
Of
cell
himself.
phone number, to text, and you posted this, and this is the most amazing thing. Here's the most amazing part of this, is that you posted this on the Whisper app, and it took how long for your first hit?
Within 3 minutes.
3 minutes. And you had how many men trying to pick up on this 13-year-old girl?
Like 45.
45 people. That is a lot. And so
It's quite a bit.
here you are. You've posted this online. You've made contact with a few of these people, and you decided to pick one person out of the group because why? He sent you a picture of himself. And what happened when he sent this picture to you?
I totally recognized him from high school.
You went to high school with him.
And junior high. I went to
And
school with
junior high
him
school.
from 7th grade until we graduated.
Yeah, I've talked to several other people that said that they went to school with him too. So, the guy's known around our area. So, you spent, a few hours talking back and forth with this guy in text messaging, right?
Yes.
Text messaging.
It was about 6 hours, I think.
6 hours. So, just kind of tell us. So, I don't know if you want to go into detail about some of the text messages, or if you just want to tell us, just pretty much tell us how this went down.
So me and a buddy were screwing around on the internet, just like we told the major media that only played a portion of what we were actually said during the interview. We're screwing around on the internet. At some point, we decided to start trolling sex predators, and we were going to just originally lure them to, like, Starbucks and get a bunch of guys at Starbucks and be like, you guys are all sex perverts, whatever. And So we end up posting the post, and like you said, within a couple of minutes, I had a whole bunch of messages, and started going through them, and ended up recognizing one of the gentlemen. Well, I'm not going to say that. I recognized one of the things that responded, and then like I instantly recognized him as Adam Olson because
Right.
I went to
You
school
went to
with him
school
for a
with
long
him
time.
for a long
And
time.
he doesn't look that much. He looks a lot creepier actually.
Mhm.
Get real. And engaged him in conversation, and he was like right away wanting to meet up, wanting to come pick her up as soon as he got off work. Yeah, it was just right away.
Right.
And then at some point he wanted to make the girl his girlfriend and be like a couple. And then at one point I decide to
yeah, I've seen the text. Some of the
take a real big
messages.
leap and
I mean,
say,
this
like-
36-year-old man told this little 13-year-old girl that she was in a relationship.
and see, you know, when he was like 36.
Right.
I'm 36. And so
people-
my instant thought was like, do I know this guy? Because he's in the local area and we both graduated the same year. There's a good chance that I know him. And then
Right.
lo and behold, yeah.
So, just so that people understand, this was not an entrapment type of a deal.
No.
You guys
For one thing,
had
I'm not a cop.
active predator, an active predator
Well, I'd like to point out that
in our area trying to
the
stop.
police can entrap people.
Yes, the police can.
Citizens
They do things
Just like
this all
the
the
police
time.
need to read people their rights. Citizens don't.
Right.
There's a much lower standard for citizens.
Right.
So,
And there are citizens group all over the country that are doing that.
yes.
So, I don't know if they do it exactly how you guys did it, but you know,
I don't know.
how it works. So you guys didn't involve the police right away. You waited until you confronted this gentleman.
We waited until we knew a crime had been committed.
Right.
Until he showed up
Well,
to hook up with a
as
13-year-old.
soon as he started texting with you guys, I mean, he committed, started texting to a 13-year-old girl. He committed a crime. Whether this girl existed or not, again, the police do the same thing. They have people that go online and know the difference between you doing it and the police doing it is the police are trained, and they're, sworn officers. You're a citizen protecting your, a child. You get to do the same thing. We have the right to do citizen's arrest, and that's pretty much, what you guys did. This is the equivalent of like a citizen's arrest, in my opinion. So you guys got him there.
I mean,
he showed up. So this 36-year-old guy that had been thinking that he'd talk to a 13-year-old child all day, and he told this child that he was going to do horrible things to her. Again, I've read the text messages, just terrible things that you just shouldn't say to a 13-year-old, or really anybody that's under 18. And some would say even to you just shouldn't say that type of thing to anybody. But
so I'd like to read really quick.
Okay.
I'd like to make a point about the police and citizens and whatnot. And I learned this in the criminal justice class that I took at LCC, and it's a quote by the founder of the Mono Police Force. His name's Robert Peel.
Right.
And he's actually like the guy who they call like English Bobbies was named after. They were called Bobby's Boys after Robert Peel. And he said, the police are the public and the public are the police. The police being the only members of the public who are paid to give full-time attention to duties which are incumbent on every citizen in the interest of community welfare and existence.
Yeah.
So I don't need to wait.
I know that our
For the
local
police.
I've been going through
I learned
the
this-
police academy, and they talked about Sir Robert Peel this last week, and they read that exact same statement that you did, and they believe this. They believe that the citizens need to be involved with exactly with what you're doing. So my opinion on this, if you're okay with me sharing it, is that the police can do two things here. They can get behind you guys and make some changes in our area, because obviously the citizens of our area, and you can look it on the internet, there is very little negative on what you guys have done. Everybody is supportive. So the police can get behind you and get this guy. I mean, I don't know what they do next, but the police can get behind you guys and support you, or they can throw you guys under the bus. And I'm hoping that they get behind you guys and support you, but we'll see.
And it seemed like they liked what we were doing.
That was two officers that showed up and arrested people. They get to have a different view on things than the guys in charge.
I realize this.
Yeah. So this is I'm I'm just saying, I hope the police support you. I think that they could take this and take a lot of positive energy from this with the citizens behind them and make some changes to our area to stop these guys from being here. Now we can move on. But anyway, so Sir Robert Peel, police are okay with the citizens. So this guy shows up.
I'd also like to point out that the great patriot Edward Snowden said, sometimes to do the right thing, you have to break the law.
Right.
We didn't even actually end up having to break the law. I mean, I don't consider myself breaking the law. I probably would have got arrested that night.
Again, this is really, in my opinion, this is really complicated. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I don't think that you guys did anything wrong. I can see where people would consider some of the actions that you guys did were questionable, and that, you guys put the video out there pretty quick. There was no editing. You put it out there raw.
So the
news has put it out there. They're putting vulgar.
Well, the funny part about the whole thing is that you have a guy who is red-handed caught speaking with a 13-year-old girl supposedly for immoral purposes. He's meeting her in a public place to have sex, and somehow they want to pick us apart, or certain people want to pick us apart, because we're not professional law enforcement. It should be, thank you for saving the other 10 or 13, possible victims, because he's going to think twice the next time he's going to meet, regardless of whether he gets charged or whether he gets let off. He's probably not going to be headed to Tammo to meet any more 13-year-old
No, this
girls.
guy, he's not going to be doing anything like this again anytime soon.
You'd imagine. You'd imagine.
But you guys, I understand your thinking, and I think a lot along like what you're saying. But there are organizations and groups out there that cater to protecting sex offenders. And when they get wind of this, which I'm sure they probably already have, they're going to come out good. So, expect a lot of flack for what you guys have done, not from people, because citizens support you. They see this and they're like, fuck yeah. You guys have seen the comments. Everyone's like, yeah. Especially in our area because we have so many predators. We want them gone.
I've only seen one comment that I really didn't agree with. And I haven't had a chance to read all of them, obviously, because there's thousands of them.
Yeah, this for those of you listening, we have several people in the studio tonight, husband, but we also have Lori and Dennis. So Dennis is the one that was just speaking now. So go ahead and finish, Dennis. The only thing you had seen that you didn't like
is I forgot what I was going to say.
You've only saw one
comment from some.
One comment that I didn't really agree with on one of the news videos. I don't remember whether it was KGW or what, but he said that we have laws to protect people who haven't done anything wrong yet.
Oh, yeah.
Was
that
that
guy.
pathetic or what?
Yeah,
remember,
like, okay,
in our country, we are innocent until proven guilty. So,
right, and he's still innocent until proven guilty. Right. But I have to tell you,
right now he is the alleged. He's the alleged.
Right.
Okay. This guy hasn't been convicted yet. He's the alleged.
Right.
Perpetrator.
But why don't they, when you allegedly get a fucking DWI, why don't they allegedly let you go home? Because you are allegedly fucking guilty.
Well, they didn't let this guy go home either.
Right.
And they found probable cause to hold him.
But if you haven't done anything wrong yet, you should be able to just head on home and watch Captain Kangaroo.
I love that shit.
You know what I mean? So there was definitely beyond a shadow of a reasonable doubt that he had done something wrong. We didn't just go down there with our underwear on the outside of our pants.
Right.
We had text messages, photographs,
That's a point that I wanted to make tonight. Is that a lot of people see this and they see the video and go, "Oh my gosh, this guy's going to get off. You guys are, blah blah blah." Well, the evidence isn't the video.
Yeah.
The evidence is what's in the text messaging. It has nothing. The video is.
Let's just get real. The video is so everybody can see how much of a puke he was, and it was kind of like a Dateline thing, like to catch a predator and for entertainment.
You guys.
This video's great to watch if you're not a sexual predator.
Right.
Can't be illegal, right? They
Yeah.
on TV.
Reality is that when the police officers came, they asked, what's going on.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
And he told them, he himself told them what was happening, and they took him into custody immediately. It wasn't
There was 2 police officers there, so he wasn't no longer, if he wants to pull that I was in fear, they were intimidating me. He had 2 police officers there to protect him at that time. Why wouldn't he have spun around and said, "Hey, these guys are threatening me"?
Okay,
and
so
trying to get me
let's
to call
talk
the
about
cops
this
on myself."
for a second, because I don't know what happened once the cops got there. So let's talk about what happened when the cops got
Well,
there.
what happened? Okay, first of all, the video kind of looks like it's edited. I didn't cut anything out in the video. I was running out of memory on my phone, and so at one point I pushed pause on the video.
Right, and just so you know that there is, and again, I look at this. I'm looking at it as a different opinion. You guys have organized efforts working against you. You guys have a force out there that is like, I don't know if they're a professional media person, but they're out there and they're smearing you, using different names on all the different posting sites of where you guys are at. So it's the same person, message is the same. They're trying to brand you guys as white racists, which I know everybody in this room, and not one person here has any racism whatsoever. But they see the yellow hat, they don't tread on me, so they're trying to make it look like you guys are vigilantes that are, just got guns, and this is the old West, and you guys are out running the streets every night fighting crime, which that's not what happened here. Is that right?
Unfortunately, that's not what's going down.
Right, and you guys are not.
Thank you, because this is something, honestly, I think in the morning when we all woke up, it wasn't something where we all woke up and said, you know what, let's go out today and get ourselves a sex predator. It was totally not even remotely like that at all.
Yeah, and for those people out there that saying this is a vigilante action, no. This was, if this was a vigilante thing, you guys would have left this guy bleeding in the ditch.
The only question that somebody would be asking if this was...
You were pissed off parents that confronted a sexual predator in a park because this guy came down to have sex with a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, and the fact is that if this
there's nothing vigilante about it. You guys were out cruising in the streets looking for...
Well, no, listen, if this was a vigilante action, the only questions somebody would be asking would have been Adam's boss the next day when he wasn't showing up for work. But that's not the case, because it wasn't a vigilante action. We got the police involved. We just didn't call the police first, which I'm not required to do because liberty.
And, I want to point out that, that people are saying that some of the things that you guys said were wrong. Some of the, you guys threatened him. But there's one thing that I would like to say. And, I love the police. Especially I love our police department here. But when we looked on your video, I didn't see you guys kicking somebody. I didn't see you guys beating anybody. I didn't see you guys yelling at anybody or anything like that you guys did, do some questionable things. But when I do watch some of the police videos that we see on TV, I do see them kneeing people in the back. I do see them kicking people. You guys didn't do anything like that.
Not one person laid even if one tiny little finger on him. Not one person. There wasn't anybody that even stood closer than a foot away from him at any given time. He even asked if he could, we wanted cigarettes, and he's like, "Do you mind if I smoke?" It was a casual conversation. He was standing there, and he himself
trying to bum a smoke off of us.
Was deciding on himself. He said he was asked, either you call the police and tell them why we are all here, or we're going to call the police on you. And he said, I'll do it myself.
Right. So there was no.
As far as
you guys gave this.
I don't think that anybody directly threatened him.
No, well, let's just listen to the video really quick, because we have that.
Well, just a second, though, just to clarify what I'm looking for, because, in the heat of the moment, I don't remember exactly how it went down, but I know that I never spoke to the individual because I didn't want him to say anything to me. I didn't want to hear his mouth move. I didn't want nothing to do with him. As far as I was concerned, he should just keep his mouth shut. But I don't think that anybody directed any physical comments towards the individual at all.
I think somebody said they could.
Well, we were joking around. like, we could do this or we could do that or whatever.
We could do a lot of things.
But
with
how
And
it.
did
you know
they
what?
talk
He
to
just literally stood
Were
there.
they talking to
and
him,
he
or were they talking
laughed.
to each other? You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
there was at one point clearly where, you can hear you asking what was going on. So
Right.
I mean, you had side conversations going on.
We all were
And
talking
not
amongst
right.
each other. That guy was literally even standing there laughing at some points himself. He was laughing like himself.
Which I don't even
No,
know
that was when
you could laugh in a
I brought up the
situation
fact
like
that I was an asshole and how like
Right.
he.
Right.
So I mean, just to think that like intimidating him or keeping him from leaving or any of that sort of thing, that dude could have took off running at any given moment. He could have left anytime he wanted to. Nobody touched him, held him there, nothing. Nobody
Right,
threatened
he
his
came there
life,
completely
nothing.
of his own free will.
Right.
The dude freaking circled that park twice.
We
looking for that
see
girl.
online a lot, on Counts County News Uncensored, free will, free will, free will. Well, this guy had free will. And he
100%.
exercised his free will to get in a car and drive 12 miles down to meet a 13-year-old girl and pick her up and take her home and do vile, disgusting things to her. Okay, that was his intent. He is what we call an active predator. Okay, people that know this guy that were also in the courtroom talking outside of the courtroom says that this guy is on that app all the time. All the time.
I've never even heard of it.
I've never even
even heard
either.
of that app either.
I never heard of it until the other day.
But then again, I'd never heard of Kick, and I'd never heard of a bunch of them that are out there, so I don't.
Not everybody uses the internet for sexual stuff.
Right,
but,
the thing is that he, the moment he saw that ad, he made a choice within himself to answer that ad. And when he answered that ad, at any given moment, he had a choice to step out and say, you know what, I'm done. I'm not really interested. You're 13. This is like cool. Or whatever the case, your parents are going to be mad. Or
Like,
whatever.
are you really 13?
Well, as soon as he found out that this was a person, this guy, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This guy is obviously clearly not that very bright, because he was going to go and do this to somebody's daughter that he knew.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's my point.
And it made
So
it more
even-
appealing to him when he found out that it was somebody's daughter that
He knew
it.
And that's my
He
point.
didn't lie.
So to say that we did
Wow.
something that we shouldn't have done irritates me, because he knew that it was somebody that he knows, supposedly daughter, and he was still willing to have sex with her and still talked bad.
I don't think it was
and
willing.
still
I believe it was
disgusting to
hell
her.
yeah or something wasn't
Yeah,
the response.
it
Yeah,
was.
there-
It was
there-
a much.
again,
He was
yeah.
much more
And
interested.
then
Right.
he drove to pick her up.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
He, at any given point through that 6 hours or 10 hours, that person had free will to walk away at any given time.
Yeah.
So now we got, now we're going to have, you can bet, the tree huggers and the hippies and all that stuff saying we, entrapped him or whatever the case may be, when they should be focusing on the fact that,
we have 40
shouldn't do
predators
that
in
kind
our
of crap.
area that tried to
I
pick
mean-
up on a 13-year-old girl.
right,
Yeah.
is this somebody that you want walking around your kid's school zone or your neighborhood or,
Right. The political policy in our area is to bring drug addicts, convicts, sexual predators to our area, and we manage them for the state. Okay, so
It's
we
that
keep.
way for every county.
Yeah, well, you know what? We're tired of it. People are tired of it. We are supposed to be a family community. How can we be a family? I mean, I posted a picture of the offender page of how many offenders are around town earlier today. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, and these are the high predators, not the the guys that were like, well, she was 16 and I was 18. We aren't talking those guys. We're talking the bad guys.
And those
We
are never the
have
guys that.
a lot of them, and we are a small community. We pride ourselves on being a family community, but yet we bring these people here.
right.
We enable this, and it's got to stop. We
But,
can't we don't have enough jobs to help these people. We don't have it. We got to take care of our own people.
Right.
I would rather take care of any homeless person off the street than a sex offender. We need to get these guys out of our community. these guys, you guys
You will never, ever get all sex offenders out of your community. Like, that's just reality. You won't. You won't get every drug addict. You won't get every homeless person. Like, that's just reality.
We don't want to get rid of the homeless people. We want to get rid of the bad people.
But you won't ever get rid of the bad people, because for whatever reason, we need those people in society to keep on turning. But reality is that the police officers in our community don't have time to sit behind a computer and play around with a whisper thing and meet all these sex predators. There are many, even the lowest level sex offenders to the highest level sex offenders have the probability at any given moment to act upon their sickness. You are never going... Everybody's like, oh, well, you know what? They're going to know that you're around. Blah, blah. It's great that they know, but there's every single time they sit down and they talk on that stupid app thing, they have a chance that it's an undercover cop.
Yeah.
They don't know. Well, it could be an adult that they're talking to.
The police want the citizens' help.
Like this time.
The police want citizens' help, and this is something the citizens can't help with. Okay, and the police departments around here would be crazy not to take citizens up on this. And they should use citizens to help them.
I'd like to point out that...
And I'm not talking organizations like Skinna, because Skinna will just have them up on the hill babysitting those people up there. Skinna is, they care about South Kelso only.
Oh.
So, we don't want those. We want people who love all of Kelso, not just one set, special section.
I don't even think it's Kelso. I mean, I think it's...
No, this came from Castle Rock.
I'm talking about protecting our community.
Right.
But I mean, it's a county thing. I mean, this is Calhoun County. We are all in this together. This isn't just... I mean, there's predators that are in Kalama. There's predators that are in Castle Rock. I mean,
one of the guys
everywhere.
One of the guys that responded is a wine distributor from California who comes to the area pretty often for work, and he's coming in on an airplane at some point. Then we landed in Portland, and he's got the delivery here or something going on for wine distribution in Longview. Totally plans on getting this chick drunk.
But I mean, if you look at history,
really,
this is I-5. We live on the corridor of I-5. We live between Seattle and Portland.
Right, and we offer free services and free housing to anybody that comes here.
In our community, unfortunately, is the one that gets swamped. Why? Because we are the biggest community between Portland and Seattle.
Well, you got
I don't think
Olympia has a big problem themselves.
I think that people lose sight of the fact that since the beginning of time, there has been these same sickos. There's been drunks and opiate heads and all that shit clear back in the horse and buggy days. I don't think that the percentages are any different or much different. I think that just the population has increased. So therefore, that in conjunction with the internet and public media, I think that it's thrown in your face a lot more. So I think that instead of not knowing about the sex offender that lives a half a mile down the road, now everybody knows about him because you can Google it. It'll show you where they all live.
Yeah.
It's not like these people...
You're never going to solve this type of a crime. I mean, all you can do is do your best to educate your kids and educate the community on how to protect themselves against something like this. But you're never going to make this go away. It's like the gun grabbers. They want to outlaw guns because of all these massive shootings. Well, you better outlaw gasoline. You better outlaw everything that'll explode, or cars or whatever, because if someone is bound and determined to kill somebody, there doesn't necessarily have to be a gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, they have school stabbings in places where they don't have guns.
I mean, there's people that get stabbed in prison where there's no weapons.
Yeah.
They make weapons out of friggin' toothbrushes or whatever. I mean.
Sharpening those shakes on the floor.
So, I mean,
just before the war pops off.
To sit there and think, to even entertain the idea that you're going to do away with sex crimes, or that you're going to do away with gun violence, or that you're going to do away with homelessness or mental instability.
Oh, fuck.
When it comes to sexual predators, we can say enough. We don't enough. Our community doesn't want to
Right.
deal with
We don't
this
have to
anymore.
deal with it. We don't have to accept it.
Yeah, we don't. You know,
And-
one thing
and
that I
this
really
is-
advocate for
But
is
we do have to
stores
deal with it. We are forced to deal with it
blacklisting
because
places. Blacklisting
what are you
people.
going to do about it? That's the thing is, you know, you're not going to cure it.
No.
The only thing you can do is make the biggest possible dent
Right.
that you can possibly
You
make.
guys
The only
just told
place-
the entire nation because there's 18,000 views
I
on
feel
this
that
video.
that has been made
What happens, Dallas County is tired of predators.
Right.
because no one is going to use any of these anonymous apps anymore because they know that like they're going to get catfished.
Good.
Exactly. That,
Good.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
want them on these apps going after small children. Good.
So this brings that up.
Well, I've even heard people talk about, or seen it. You didn't hear it because it was in print on the internet, but saying something to the fact that Whisper or these apps, these websites that people voluntarily join into, that they shouldn't have those apps and they shouldn't be available and so on and so forth. It's not the app's fault.
Everybody's all like,
You know what I
It's the
mean?
people-
there's no way anybody's going to be
And
responding.
that's the start of 1984. The thought police, like we are the thought police. You will not fucking think about molesting a girl, or else you'll go to jail.
Well, I know when I first learned about the Whisper app, I found out that my friend's daughter, who was probably 12 at the time, was on Whisper. And she was using it just to express feelings anonymously and, you know, whatever it was originally designed for. And I told my friend, I'm like, look, here's what's going on with this app. And this is long before all this is going on. And I'm like, you need to get her off of there. And she did, because I'm like, there's predators out there. You know, they're going to see her posting her insecure 12-year-old thoughts. And
For those of you wondering who's
Hello.
talking right now, that is Catherine Hart. Just
Hello.
letting everybody know who's talking.
I think
Yeah,
it
it's my
doesn't-
wife.
I don't think it really matters what app you're on. I don't really think it I mean,
Hey, you don't have to be on an app
Right,
I
at
mean,
all.
you can have your own blog
these,
and
these
your own
predators use
website or
Facebook,
whatever,
Right.
and
using
these
whatever.
people will just
Telephones.
So you know how we said that
Any means necessary
when
to
we were-
catch their prey.
outside at 7 o'clock, when we were talking about just a couple seconds ago that there's a good chance that people aren't going to be using this app anymore because of all this publicity and whatnot, but that's not the case.
No, your name has come up in memes all over the place on Whisper today. Just so you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
yes. Hold on
There
just a
is
second.
I
an
would say that
organized
judging
effort
from the
targeting
frequency-
Curtis Park.
The frequency and the consistency of the responses to these
Yeah, I
fake
sent him
profiles.
some of the memes.
I
He just
honestly
may not have
believe
seen them
that
yet.
unless you happen
You're
to
like-
say, this is
So
Curtis
this-
Hart,
anyway.
looking for some action, they're going to keep biting.
Yeah, I mean, I got 25 messages already since
Right.
we came in here and started this.
But that's my point. That was my point, and that's been my point this entire time. It doesn't matter if, you know, we as citizens of wherever go out and we meet up with 25 different predators and have them arrested. There's 25 more lurking around the corner just waiting. Or there's another 50. So, I mean, there's so many of these people, and it's not necessarily men. It's, you know, there's women too. I mean, they're there. They just don't think it's them that's going to get caught. And unfortunately, when it is them that's going to get caught, they pretty much crap their pants.
Some woman tried kidnapping me and Curtis at this garage sale at his grandma's house. There was this like a college woman, like she had hairy armpits. Like you could tell she was liberal. And she said like, "Hey, why don't you two kids come to pizza with us, or pizza with me?" Like, and they were like, we were like,
Corey was there too.
yeah, we were like, as much as that sounds appealing, we're gonna say no because we don't want to get
Because my
kidnapped.
grandma had Alzheimer's and I couldn't just leave the freaking garage
You
sale.
go with the hairy.
No, that's why.
I don't remember having hairy pits. I remember a hot chick asking us if we wanted to
No.
go get pizza with her, and
No,
we're
no,
like,
she
yeah,
had hairy legs.
we can't do this.
She is from PSU.
She's from PSU. We're evergreen.
Yeah, or Evergreen.
By the way,
Tell me what it is.
you're not the only. You know, I've gotten a lot of posts too, and a lot of private messages, and I'm getting a lot of positive private messages of people that we can hook up with.
That happened.
One of a candidate for state rep got a hold of me and gave me an organization out of Vancouver that does this type of thing. It's a nonprofit. I gave that to Curtis. I don't know if he's looked at it yet.
I've gotten so many messages.
And then there's also somebody told me that CJAC has a program at the end of the month every month to help identify child predators. Something else that we can do. So, I mean, when you guys say that this isn't going to be the only one, you guys were told by the police not to do this anymore until they talk to an attorney, correct? So it's not like you guys are out there actively going after predators. You guys aren't vigilantes going out there acting like, you guys aren't out there hunting or stalking people. However, there are people hunting and stalking you.
What happened? Like
because you're a 13-year-old girl.
Their attorney could dictate policy if it says, "Oh, they shouldn't go after him because of this." Like, you wait till they talk to your attorney. Is there an attorney like that? That's just the way I understood it. Curtis said that
they needed to talk to some people before we do this again.
I think the beauty about this is it's almost like going deep sea charter fishing. Have you ever been deep sea charter fishing? Mm-hmm. You all get the fucking same bait. You're all on the same boat. You're all fishing in the same water.
I ain't trying to go.
But you catch everything from a sea bass to a flounder to a salmon or whatever. That's what this is all about here. We're not targeting any person.
That's fishing.
We're just looking for the people that are stupid enough to give themselves in.
I mean, that person who answered that ad could have very well have been a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't really even have mattered if it was
could
a
have been
man
Bruce Jenner.
or you know what I mean? It could have been anybody. It wouldn't even really have mattered. The point is that it became out of hand when you started talking sexual
nastiness,
like completely disgusting sexual stuff.
I want to ride your hard dick.
Yeah, okay, husband. All right, yes.
I don't need your voice laying down in my head.
And then when he said, "I wanted to pick you, I'll pick you up when I get off work. I'll meet you." And then he continued to talk to her after that. Like,
I definitely am pretty sure you guys tainted the jury pool on this one too.
I'm just saying. I mean, he seriously, he was still communicating with her, supposed her, when we were at the park.
Yeah.
And he drove around the park several
times.
Well,
he was communicating with her while we were looking for him.
So he was on his phone in the park, actively talking to you, looking for you guys.
He said,
looking for this 13-year-old girl.
Looking for this 13-year-old girl. He thought he was talking to her, and he's like, "I drove through, I can't find you," or whatever he said. I'm not exactly sure of his content, but I'll turn around, I'll go back. Okay, I'm walking down the street, I'm in a sweatshirt and jeans, and he's all, "Okay, but I still don't see you." I mean, he was actively searching this park.
This is an active predator. This is what predators do. You guys showed the world what these guys do.
At any given time.
I mean, we've all seen it on Dateline, right?
He didn't have to go to the park.
Right? This happened. You guys did this. And this, I mean, like I said, the most important thing that people need to take away from this is that there are 40 people in our area that wanted to hook up with this little girl. We have 40 predators in our area that are actively working on these apps and actively looking for these little girls. Okay?
That's just 40.
That is a problem.
That's just 40 for that particular.
That's right, and this is this only particular app. I mean, that's a lot of. I mean,
my point is that he could.
I mean, yes, there were a couple from out of our area, but they were. Woo! I mean, we have active predators in our area.
We got a 32-year-old male who I just told I was 14 from Kelso.
Right. I mean, look how fast it goes.
From Beaverton.
Right. This guy's from Beaverton.
So I said, "Hi, how are you?"
Now.
I said ASL. I said 32 male Oregon U. I said 14 female Kelso.
You're on the app right now getting these guys. See how, I mean,
where from?
Right here. Just
after I said 14-year-old female, I said, "Where from?" Beaverton. Is that you in the pic? No.
So, I mean, these guys are out there. I mean, he just I mean, yeah.
My point is that
thank you guys for pointing this out.
He could have drove through that park, or he could have not drove through that park.
I mean, he
could have drove there and said, "You know what? I don't think I'm going to take the exit because this is probably not a good idea." But instead, he made a conscious choice to go to that exit. He made a conscious choice to go to that park. He drove through that park. He was actively looking for that little girl.
Now, I don't want you guys to get
He
discouraged.
drove down to the other side. Also, Safeway over the speed bumps.
More of the liberal people, more of the people who protect these guys, they're going to start attacking you guys, and don't feel bad.
They can attack all they want.
You got to realize that there's people out there that support these type of people, and then there's people out there that don't support these type of people.
You know, it's a 50-50 split.
It's blowing party lines south.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, it's a hate crime to pull
people
up
who
somebody's
support the
paperwork.
predators.
People who
I
want
would say that's a 50-50.
I'm saying it's along party lines generally. You don't find a lot of Republicans out there
you
that
can't,
want to help the
you can't pull a Chimo's paperwork in prison.
I still wouldn't say it's 50-50.
Okay, maybe not 50-50, sorry.
You pull a Chimo's paperwork in prison, and they catch you pulling their paperwork through some type of a database or whatever, and you assault them, they're going to get you for a hate crime because they say that child molestation is some kind of mental disease.
Okay.
Isn't that how fucked up our society is?
This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. You guys are going to get these type of people attacking you very soon. They're already started.
I took a class. I was a teacher at our church in Eric's class when he was a little baby, and we had to take this class on predators, child stuff. Well,
Stranger
anyway,
danger.
I only sat there for about an hour, and I had to walk out because it was so disgusting. The testimonials that they were showing from guys in prison and stuff. But one thing I did learn was that people that are attracted to people younger than them is because their brain stopped developing. There's a certain part of your brain that says, I'm attracted to the person my age. I'm attracted to a male or a female or whatever. When they were, whatever age, that part of their brain stops developing.
And that's why we kill them.
That's why they continue to
We're not advocating for that, Huffman.
That's why that's why they continue to be attracted to people younger than them.
This is live. There's no
right, but I mean,
or something traumatic happened in their life at a certain age.
You're looking pretty good from over there, aren't you?
Continue to be attracted to children.
There's so many reasons why these people for being molesters or being abusers, or so many people have excuses for being alcoholics or drug addicts or whatever the freaking case may be, murderers or whatever. Everybody has an excuse for their behavior. In the end, you choose your own consequences. Yeah. You choose which way you go. You either go the right way or the wrong way. You make the choice to go the wrong way. Guess what? You choose the consequences for what comes after that. I mean, I don't see that in any way having someone arrested for speaking to a so-called 13-year-old and saying completely vulgar things and then thinking he's going to go and pick her up and take her home the next day and all that kind of stuff is wrong. What if it was their daughter? Yeah. What if that happened to their daughter? They would be completely mortified. What if we just saved someone's daughter from that happening to them? And you know what? Who knows? I mean, I don't know, but this guy could have been talking to a whole bunch of different girls.
I thought he said that, and when we were down there, I thought that he had said to us that he had talked to other girls, but this is the first time that he had ever bothered to show up.
And that's why he said relationship. Yeah. He wanted to solidify his contact with that girl, like, you're in a relationship now.
Right.
He said that he had spoken to multiple girls, and he said that this was just the first time that he had ever gone to pick one up.
Sure.
Exactly. Now's the time to fry the system. You fry the system because nobody, we're going to have so many trolls out on Whisper and Yik Yak and every fucking type of anonymous text application that they'll never, you want to fuck a 15-year-old girl on Yik Yak? Yeah, if you want to go to jail. Because as soon as fucking you go to
but wasn't prison spoken to him? Didn't he say something?
Yeah, he
did.
He said prison, and he doesn't want to go to prison because he doesn't want to have sex or something like that.
He told us that he wanted to look at her ID. What?
I saw
Did
that.
Sarah say that she's 13?
Okay, I just have to say, I honestly God, I was
he selling
pissed.
cigarettes all of a sudden?
Right. Bugs,
No, but I was
wanted
pissed.
to see her Bugs Bunny Club identification card.
I was pissed because I was like, really, you want to see her ID? She's 13. She doesn't have a driver's license. She has a school ID. So exactly how is it that you're verifying her age there?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe
Come
he
on.
gives a discount for ASB students.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, seriously, like, oh, I want to look. I was going to, and then, he said when he called 911, I mean, he was scared. He was scared to tell on himself, but he knew. I mean, obviously, he knew he was caught. He knew it was the right thing to do because either he was going to call the police or we were going to call the police. Either way, they were coming.